Good morning, Laguna Woods. This is inspiration for today, and wow, if you can't get inspired by this setting, I don't know what it will take, because we're out here again by the Aliso sycamore tree that's something like 450 years old. I love the looks of this tree. And I've come out here, as I know many of you have over the years, to sit and meditate or pray, because it's just inspiring to think about what's happened while this tree has been alive. And today, I have one of my really good friends, Michele Laseur. Did I pronounce your last name
You said
correctly?
it perfectly.
It's my
yeah.
French coming
Yeah,
through.
there.
No, it's not. But actually, you're probably not French either.
No,
It's your married
not really.
name. Yeah. But anyway, so Michele now I'm Laseur.
Yes.
Okay. So Michele and I have known each other for a good number of years, as you and I have ministered together at Saddleback Church, Laguna Woods, and we have a lot of. So we've been in small group
That's right.
as our husbands and wives,
Yes.
and various other couples for five, 6
5,
years.
6 years, yes.
So that's been great, and you've always encouraged me and inspired me. So Michele actually chose this verse. Let me read it for you. It's from Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. And it says, God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or even imagine, according to his power. And I really wanted to read and emphasize that last phrase, because to think that God is able to do more than we can even imagine, well, it does take great power, and God has all the power, so he can do that. And we're sitting out here in his creation, as it is anyway, where in my mind it's on display.
It is.
So, well, Michele, you chose that verse. Why? Or what is it about? Kind of tell us your story, and you may start with the verse or just or not.
The last part of that, where it says, his power,
Yes.
and that's the key in my walk,
Mhm.
is the power of Christ. And in my weakest point, in my weakness, his strength is made manifest. That's my prayer. And to be an encourager, and to let his light shine,
Yes.
and hopefully bring others to know him. And he's an amazing God.
Well, you live that out. I mean, you clearly have some challenges. I was noticing you brought your crutches, and she's famous because these are the most colorful, picturesque that I've seen. And over the years we've come. You do change from time to time.
Yes, and there's a story even why. I just,
Oh.
the crutch itself, as we all know, is just the metal, and covering it seems to bring so much happiness to other people, and it opens up conversation as well.
Is that right?
Yes, and I've been able to
I've just
share.
enjoyed the
Yes.
creativity
Yeah.
over the years, but I didn't know that part.
There was a lady recently, it said to me, they look like giant chopsticks, and I love it. I thought if I was a giant, these would be perfect.
That's funny. That's funny. But anyway, so Michele, so tell it why you want to start with. Why do you need those?
Okay. What I have is a neuromuscular degenerative disease, and it's called CMT, and it's named after the 3 doctors that discovered it. And it was in the end of the about 1890s.
Oh, I didn't.
And it was Dr. Charcot, Dr. Marie, and Dr. Tooth, an English doctor and 2 Frenchmen. Yeah.
His name was Tooth.
Tooth.
Okay.
I know. And so has nothing to do with the teeth.
No, I know. I resisted saying that until you brought it up.
But yeah, it was, and it's a hereditary, genetically hereditary. And, you know, growing up, I was hobbling around literally and struggling to move, and my grandpa as well, her father. And I guess that goes back to Eastern Europe, where he's from
really?
Czechoslovakia. And
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was a work in progress. Our 2 children, they were about 8 and 10 when I was diagnosed back about 30 years ago. And because I couldn't walk much. I was so exhausted. I was working and I wasn't able to keep up with
And you were wondering why this is happening?
Yeah, I was wondering what's going on here. So I finally did get a diagnosis. And actually, I think the Lord had already prepared me for that. I kind of already had put 2 and 2 together by watching
that you didn't know what it was called,
No.
but you knew you
I
had
knew
something.
there was something different, and I could feel what was going on. So once it was diagnosed, there was progression, of course, but I think the exciting part is coming, having Jesus in your life, and that scripture again. The focus of all of this is temporary. We're just here in this world with what we see temporarily. And what's going to last is beyond imagination. It's beyond comprehension. And so that to me is so exciting.
So when you first, and then over the year, actually I'm going to switch what I was going to say, but so over the years you've seen a progression.
Right.
And you've...
Yeah, I just had one brace when I was diagnosed 30 years ago, and I could get around okay. And then a little more time, I had to get the other leg with a brace, and it doesn't affect just the legs and the feet. I don't know if I can say it, but the myelin sheathing on the nerves deteriorates. And so then the muscles atrophy, and that goes on throughout the body. The hands, everything's affected. And so different degrees with different people.
Well, I really appreciate, because that has to be difficult. Yeah, I know it's difficult.
Well, yeah,
for you.
because there's a lot of pain. There's chronic pain and deterioration. However, I'm just so blessed to be able to here in Laguna Woods share with a lot of people, because they'll ask about it, and I don't want them to feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
I want them to come to know Jesus again, and
because
see everything.
Had you have had to go through this without the Lord, it's probably hard to imagine for you that you could have kept the spirit up that you do have.
Absolutely, it's His grace every day. Because when I get up without my braces on, I do take them off at night, and I get up and I'm not able to walk. I have knee pads, and I scoot around or use a wheelchair, whatever.
Yeah.
But that to me is such a sacred time, because the presence of God and His power, I thank Him every day. And I want Him to use me to glorify Him.
Well, you sure do, and we're going to finish Michelle's story tomorrow, so you're going to have to tune in then, and I can't wait myself, and I'm going to be here. But anyway, but I got to repeat the verse right now, which is Ephesians 3:20, and it just says, God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power.
Amen.
And I've seen it in your life. By the way, the reason that I suggested that you be on, because I've wanted you on the show from the beginning, but Michelle, we're right at the creek, and Michelle just lives above the creek. So, and I've seen, when I've walked around, I've seen you walking around. This is often your exercise place, isn't it?
It is, and that's a miracle in itself, because thank God for the braces and the crutches, because they are my legs. They help me walk.
I was so excited to run into you one day, and we just had I walked with you a little bit. And I can barely keep up, but I can. So. But
you were under another tree down that way.
Was I?
In fact, I can see the tree.
Well, I just find this a great place to come to pray.
It is.
So I encourage, if you've never tried that, come out. There's amazingly good trees. This is my favorite, but there's other good trees.
And you were talking about worship this morning.
I was.
And this is beautiful.
This is worship. Laguna Woods, thank you for tuning in. I know you're going to tune in tomorrow to hear the end of Michelle's story. See you then.